Ooh, welcome. Whoa, that's overlay. So there, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got MYM versus Sigma International for our final match of the day. Marlene, what's up?
I think it's like 2-1 favorites, Sigma.
Yeah.
And they've been looking much better recently, although only walking away with one win. Still giving... Who else did they play?
I don't know, man.
You
Today?
Don't know? Yeah.
Wait, no, I've got it right here, Marlene. They played Virtus. No, they played Empire.
Yeah, they played Empire. They actually gave Empire a good run for their money, and Empire was just like absolutely unstoppable in the past couple of weeks, and they actually look like they might be taken down, but it was more them making a little bit of mistakes, and including their stand-in, and Empire playing really well, but they're still, I mean, they're on the rise. Yeah, they're on the rise. I think
definitely
2-1 is a pretty... That's fairly good odds.
MYM have not really been performing that well. They've got some big names. Crit, Exist, Ace, Mini, names we recognize, but we haven't seen too much of MYM yet in this round robin, but the little that we saw...
Yeah, MYM just... They haven't impressed me with anything significant. No, like, huge plays, no drafts that... no out drafts, pretty much. It's just, you know, pretty standard stuff. They're decent at everything, but don't really shine in any particular category, so... Looking at this, they are
actually they're 2-0.
Yeah, they were pretty good. I always think they're a little bit underrated, but at the same time, I don't think they're Navi Alliance Empire.
No, definitely not. I could have sworn that one. I swear, maybe I'm just confusing my teams here. I haven't slept enough. I'm getting all turned around here. So we actually don't have a draft overlay for this.
You do remember the last? You don't remember the last MYM game? It was when Unicorn was on Potom and they went like the S and Y rush.
Oh, yeah.
And then they like had a push, and then it was like too ballsy, and then they just regrouped and pushed again. I forgot who they were playing against, but it was a pretty easy victory for them.
Yeah, I do remember that game.
So, looks like they will start off. Well, we're right in this draft right now. Crit will be the drafter for MYM, Fada for Sigma, and looks like they will actually go with the Enchantress. And that was something that we talked about in the Sigma Empire match, that both teams ignored it. Sigma can play it. Empire usually does not play it, but they usually ban it, and they didn't actually touch it that time. Not really sure why Sigma is opting for it versus MYM and didn't opt for it in the Empire match, but I'll be sure to keep my eyes on the Enchantress in the early game. MYM going for the AA and the Naga ban. AA was a pretty big factor. Unfortunately, Miggle did have some sync issues in game, some visual bugs.
Visual bug. He couldn't see the ultimate flying.
But so. he still played a pretty good one considering that fact. The Naga ban I don't think is that necessary.
Against Sigma, I would much rather ban out of Bane. That is Mad's signature hero, the hero he makes the most
plays I'm going to see a Fada Invoker too. Nice.
The things we were talking about earlier finally coming true.
They should have banned out Bane though. Bane's much scarier, unless they think they can handle it, but at the same time, Dazzle, Starladder, can they? It's okay. It's so-so.
It's not bad. So a very well-rounded draft from Sigma already. I like the heroes they picked up. Bat Rider was played by Paris last. Usually Sachka, a.k.a. Paris, is the position 1 player, but this particular stand-in, W33, we've seen him a couple games now. He is position 1. Earlier in the match we saw against Empire, he was the one on the Faceless Void, so it will probably be Sachka on the off lane on the Bat Rider.
He was also on the Slaughter when they beat Cloud9.
Yeah, so he plays those hard farming heroes. And obviously Fada will be on the Invoker going mid. And Miggle.
I like MYM's lineup too.
Is Miggle the Enchantress player?
I don't believe so.
So it's normally Pos that plays Enchantress.
Miggle was usually I don't know. Miggle plays a little bit of everything though. I actually have not seen his Enchantress, I believe, but I still think he can play.
See who just plays her.
Yeah, we will see.
I think it is Pos that normally plays Enchantress if they can pick her up. So, well, could hurt Sigma just a little bit here. MYM with the Starladder Dazzle.
Miggle's usually offlane.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm getting all turned around since they've been shuffling
Miggle
everything.
offlane, Saksha, Farmer, Pos, Bucking Mad support, and Fada mid.
Yeah, so I guess it's normally Pos who would play Enchantress. So here they'll have to rotate things a little bit. But yeah, the Dazzle Starladder, always a potent combo. And there you go. They'll grab the Death Prophet. I love the synergy between those 3 heroes. The Exorcism does physical. Dazzle's ultimate, of course, does minus armor. Starladder with his minus armor and all that physical damage he does. A lot of physical minus armor synergy around those 3 picks.
Death Prophet fares very poorly, versus Bat Rider though. Like in all the games I've seen, Bat Rider It's always eyes out on Death Prophet, and then if she's slightly out of position, blink lasso, kill her, and then win a team fight. And it's almost always like one team fight if you can kill her early.
Yeah,
so,
especially if you can shut her down.
I'm a little bit scared for Death
Full
Prophet.
duration exorcism, or even catch her before the ultimate. Although that can be a little bit of a risky proposition. You almost want to wait for her to use it and then try and burst her down, because we've seen if she gets killed right away, then she can buy back, still has the ultimate available.
Then you just back off. Yeah. I think it's still just way too strong. Bat Rider's a very good matchup versus Death Prophet, generally in team fights.
MYM seemed confident. They picked the DP into the Bat Rider, so not a care in the world there. Rather curious what they'll do for their final choice. Disruptor might not be bad for MYM. We saw that Dazzle Disruptor combo earlier today. I think that was game 1 that I casted with Gods.
Venge, I think, would be pretty good tier, too.
Oh, yeah, that minus armor.
Well, Venge for the minus armor, as well as the defensive against Bat Rider. You can defensively swap the Death Prophet out, and then they need to save the Death Prophet, though. I think that's going to be really important for them, because she's not going to have the easiest lane. Invoker, he's not terribly difficult to lane against, but he's not easy to lane against.
How would you like an Abaddon here?
Abaddon's too short range to deal with Bat Rider. He's generally pretty good, but in general, especially if a Bat Rider has a Force Staff, he can't be saved. It does synergize very well with Starladder, and he's very, very good versus Bane.
Yes.
They could just go more push, though. Sigma's anti-push is actually pretty poor unless Invoker goes Quas Wex.
I was sort of assuming he would go Quas Wex, but there he goes, Big Daddy Lycan. He will be the 5th pick for Sigma. So now it doesn't really help their anti-push, but they've got some serious push of their own between Lycan and Enchantress. And also Invoker if he goes...
Lycan's a little bit unusual here.
Yeah,
because it's not like the most bursty hero. Sometimes you want burst to dump into Bat Rider's ultimate, even if it's only like a Rage Lifestealer. That's generally enough. Lycan, he's more like a split push and a 4-on-5 kind of lineup. And Sigma, they don't really have the best 4-on-5 lineup. It's not that bad, but at the same time, I think Meteor Makers is going to be pushing their towers very early with the Death Prophet and looking for early engagements. And Lycan can't really fight early too effectively. Prior to level 11, I think he's pretty weak.
And you're right. I mean, heroes like Lion tend to pair pretty well with a Bat Rider. Support heroes, I mean, where you can catch him in the lasso and you have burst damage to shut him down before the lasso ends or right after. Bane and Enchantress, although very good supports, don't really bring that to the table. Bane is much more focused on the disable. He's got a little bit of burst with Brain Sap, but Bean's Grip obviously more disable-based, and Enchantress, although she can do a fair bit of damage, not super burst damage. They will go for a pusher, though. Nature's Prophet, their 5th pick. So, pretty scary push coming out from MYM, I have to admit. Really scary push from both teams, if you think about it.
I actually might probably prefer to see like a Darkseer or something like that for MYM, just to give them a little bit more team fight control. I'm not sure if they have enough control in a team fight. Like, Nyx Assassin is like, okay, Death Prophet's okay, Slaughter with the Blink is okay, but at the same time, like, Sigma, they have Bane, Bat Rider, and Invoker. Those 3 alone can just put out so much pressure, and especially if any of the ultimates are well executed. Well, Invoker doesn't have a good ultimate, but if there's a good lasso, a good tornado, like, MYM is just going to fall really far behind in momentum in team fights.
Yeah, and that can be the issue with Death Prophet that I always like to go back to. She's very susceptible to ganks early on, and in my opinion, I don't think she plays well from behind, though. That is something that we disagreed on yesterday.
I think she's okay.
She's okay. As you were pointing out, when she falls behind, that's usually when you group up and you try and knock down towers, and that is where she thrives.
She has a catch-up mechanism, which is pushing, right? Yeah. Some heroes don't have a catch-up mechanism, like Faceless Void, right?
Yeah.
If you get behind, you can't farm.
Right. She recovers better than some heroes if you kind of frame it in that way, but it's more just her individually. It's like she can get like an early kill or at least do well in the lane and either knock down an early tower or stay as one of the higher leveled heroes in the game. That's where she starts to thrive, if she can stay an item up. But if she's like an item down, like when you see a Death Prophet getting power treads and then kind of scrambling to get items together, that's when she's too squishy, man. She can't survive the duration of her ultimate.
She needs levels, more importantly, than farm.
Absolutely.
So as long as she doesn't die in mid, I think she's okay. If she gets like shut down in terms of CSs, not the end of the world. Well, yeah. Introducing Sigma, our favorites for this matchup. We have Fada on the Invoker, also the Drafter. We have 10 on the Enchantress. Is that Bucking Mad?
I believe
that
it
pause?
Is.
Well, we can check the Steam profile.
Yeah,
you want to do that?
We
have Saksha on the offlane Bat Rider, exact same role he played earlier today. We have the stand-in W33. He's been playing with him in the last 2 games in Starladder, so he might even be like a more permanent addition. Who knows?
Who knows? The only reason I think he isn't is because he's been standing in for different people.
That's true.
Today he's in for Pos, and last we saw him, I think, was he in for Mad?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. It wasn't Poss, though. It was somebody different. It might have
Oh,
been
Miggle was.
Yeah, it was
He was
Miggle.
down for Miggle. And
Yeah.
Miggle, speaking of, is on the orange Bane.
Interesting. So Mad not playing his signature Bane. He will be the one to play Enchantress. That's something we were talking about in the draft. Poss usually the one to handle the Enchantress. So they have to switch things up a little bit. It is indeed Mad. I did look at the profile, and that is not Poss, unless they're doing something weird with their accounts. On the dire side, we've got MYM, Meet Your Makers. In the off lane, it will be Ace playing on the Nature's Prophet. In the mid, it will be Exist on the Death Prophet. And then up top in the safe lane, it will be a bit of a tri lane here. Unicorn on the Starladder. Mini will be on the Dazzle. And then Crit will be on the Nyx Assassin.
So it will be a Quas-Wex Invoker coming out from Fada already with that level 1 Quas. We see MYM UNC. Every time I see UNC, I think UNC Chapel Hill. But instead, it is Unicorn.
Mr. Duke.
Well,
You would think that.
I would.
Makes sense, though. Yeah, that is indeed Unicorn. And Lycan? I like this hairdo. Look at this. He's got the comb with the great gray. He's got the little comb over.
This looks ridiculous.
He looks so goofy. The comb over doesn't really go with mutton chops that well.
It doesn't. I like the eye patch on him.
The eye patch is okay. It fits his profile a little bit as like a haggard old washed up pirate turned Lycan.
He looks like I don't know. He looks like something out of the Nutcracker. That's what he looks like to me.
Oh man, I want to
With
see somebody
his
do a Lycan
outfit.
cosplay. That would really crack me up. Well, Mad is already smoked up. He's got a Satyr as well as a Centaur. So it looks like he wants to be aggressive. Death Prophet, again, very susceptible. 2 creeps that should make for a reasonable
All he has is Cold Snap right
easy
now.
kill.
It's not going to be the easiest setup, especially with this positioning.
Oh, the smoke will get revealed as Nyx pokes from the high ground. They're going for it, though. Cold Snap comes out first. There's the War Stomp. This should be first blood.
What? Oh my goodness! He
didn't
backed off
commit.
too early.
Oh, big misplays from Sigma. Exist going to get thrown a bone. He should not have been able to survive that.
He was 1 hit away from dying, and Bucky Mad just turned around. Okay, well, it still will be a first blood.
Yeah.
Why are there so many people in mid? There's like
Satchka and
6
Miggle
heroes.
Both rotate in. Crit and Mini will be on the
There were
backside of
7
the
heroes
tower.
in mid.
Yeah, that's
Crit might die here.
atypical to say the least. He takes a Cold Snap, but Fada forced to turn around. Now Paris coming in as well. Exist has rejoined the party. Level 2 Crypt Swarm, thinking about it, but won't throw it. Can't get in range. That was strange. I can't believe only 1 kill came out of a 7-person rotation to the mid lane.
Yep, still nicely played by Sigma. Still getting the first blood, although they probably could have gotten it a lot easier. Anyways, Exist is still doing pretty well. He is actually pretty far ahead in terms of CS. 9 CS to Invoker 6, and he already has his bottle, so not the end of the world for him. We see Crit with an Invis Rune, but Fada's way too high HP to go on this.
Yeah, although Exist will soften him up a little bit. We'll be able to sip up that bottle for another Crypt Swarm. Mag is only level 3, 2 points in Impale. If Fada steps too far forward, they might be able to set this up, but the Creep Wave not in a good position.
He has
to bait
Tornado
him
now
out.
too. I don't think it's gonna happen.
It'll be tricky, but yeah. So Crit will just walk away. Meanwhile, though, Starladder is in free farm heaven. That rotation did open up a lot of space.
Ace.
Paris did pour it in, and will they have enough to secure this kill? They're going to dive it. They've got plenty of creeps. The Shockwave doing a lot of damage, and Bane will grab the last hit. So that will make it 2-0 to get things started here at the 3.5-minute mark. Sigma in the lead, and Mad being very active with this Enchantress.
Exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Crit roaming around on the Nyx Assassin, trying to find somewhere to set up a kill perhaps. We'll start
Look at-
heading towards the mid
Look at
lane.
Unicorn. He's just chilling there. Bat Rider hasn't really been zoned out. He's almost level 4. But yeah. All in all, early game not going well for MYM, and as you said, Death Prophet, she is very susceptible to ganks early, and Sigma knows that, and this is one of the reasons why she's just not very popular. You can't leave her alone in the mid, especially when the other team just puts so much pressure out with an early game ganker like Enchantress.
Yep. Satchka will get engaged on up top. He takes a Poison Touch. Slithering Crush. They might have the damage to finish him off here. Indeed they do. Starladder walks away with 1 more kill, and that will be the first on the board for MYM. Starladder off to the races in farm. That will make him #1 on the net worth chart.
In terms of CFC, he's right on par with the Lycan. Lycan going for the 3-1-1 build. We have seen 3-2-0 builds, but looks like just the 1 value point.
In the mid lane, Exist gets caught in a tornado. Cold Snap to follow up. There is an Enchantress creep inbound. Throws the ensnare, but they just don't have the damage. Paris coming in to try and assist, but he'll be there just a little bit too late, and they won't be able to secure that kill. So again, Death Prophet gets thrown a bone. And she'll make it back to the tower. Bottle crowing as we speak. I don't know where that 4-minute rune went, but she didn't grab it.
Ace was taking a little bit of a harass. I think Nix hasn't looks like he picked up the haste. Anyways, yeah, Ace is not having the easiest time on bottom. He does have early phase boost, but now W33 had just steamed level 6, so we could potentially see a kill on Ace, although it wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world. He does have a Quelling Blade for that Sprout.
Right. Well, Ace is positioned pretty well, and half the battle is getting those phase boots up as an awfully Nature's Prophet. Once you get that little burst in movement speed, it makes your life a hell of a lot easier. Fada catching up in CS. He is now dead even with Exist, even though he was a little bit behind to get things started off. Both of them hovering around 24 creep kills. We see
Crit wrapping around from behind.
Yep, ping coming out onto Sachka. They want to put some pressure on. He does have Firefly available, and the Impale just going to cancel cast it. Will force Sachka to go swimming in the river there as he flies around. Yep,
there's another smoke from Migo and Bucky, man. They are trying to kill Exist yet again. Centaur creep and a Wild King creep. Oh, no. Ace.
Ace just walks right into it.
But he doesn't have any mana. He actually might be able to get away.
He does have a Brain Sap, but not enough for the Nightmare. In comes the Lycan. There's the ultimate. Dazzle actually ports in, throws a heal. Out comes the Shallow Grave. Now does WW3 actually, or W33 want to dive this? He does. Ace, you are dead meat. And Lycan will add another kill to the board. Now 3-1 in favor of Sigma. It's not over yet, though. The ultimate will expire. In comes Exist. Cancel casting that Crypt Swarm.
He's in a really bad position.
Yeah, so is Fada as well. He's going to get the amplified damage. Tornado into EMP. Will finish off the mana of the 2 up top, but it won't be enough to save the Lycan. Now UNC on his way in. That is Unicorn. And will they be able to grab a kill onto Fada? No
Sprints
mana
down
on either. That's not happening. So they minimize their losses, but at least MYM do get a counter kill on the high priority Lycan.
Yeah, and it looks like he did buy his Vlad's recipe before he died, so not too much in the way of lost gold, but still, that's going very deep. I think if he just went straight down, I think he would have been okay. He would have to run back into the Dazzle, but I don't actually need Starladder TP, but he was going to get cut off if he went left, especially without a TP scroll.
Yeah. So some items were picked up. You mentioned the Vlads that Lycan was able to buy before he went down. He does have a complete Medallion of Courage recipe already purchased as well, so he really is off to the races. And there was something else picked up I wanted to make mention of. Arcane Boots on Miggle, not too shabby. And I guess that's
Blink Dagger coming soon on Saksha, just 200 gold away from that.
Wow,
and
that's a good timing.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. The 8-minute, I think, is the gold standard for offlane Bat Riders.
Yeah.
I have seen earlier, but 8 minutes is, you're doing very well. Usually, you can't ask for more.
Yeah, usually earlier than 8 minutes is the result of some sort of an untimely kill. If Bat Rider gets the first blood, maybe you knock down a tower kind of unexpectedly with that initial push from a Chen or an Enchantress. But less those things, 8 minutes is just about standards, like standard good.
Standard good, yeah. Well, see a smoke from MYM. Mini and Crit huddled behind the T1 on bottom. They want to make a go for bottom. Lycanthrope does have his ultimate back up.
Dire's structures
and they will force out the Glyph. Enchantress bringing some creeps in. Does have a Centaur. And that's actually her only creep right now. There will be an engage down bottom and a battle for that regeneration rune. Miggle takes the poison from Dazzle, and he will be in some trouble. Crit doesn't have an Impale, but no way Miggle's going to survive. That is a big rotation from MYM. Everyone else will escape. Lycan actually does shapeshift to get away.
Lycan has his Blink Dagger if he wants to purchase it. 2,500 gold
Bat
in his
Rider.
bank. Yeah, Bat Rider. But this is, I don't think they can stop this push. Exist does have his Ghost. He doesn't have mana for anything else, but still with this, yeah, they aren't in position to defend.
Yep. Exorcism out, and there will be a Glyph available. They burn it just to buy in some time. They will try and counter push in the mid lane, but Crit will be inbound on the Nyx to try and make a hold. He does need to be a little bit careful, though. Fada and W33 can do a lot of damage. He's got enough mana for one Impale or a Spike Carapace, not enough mana for both. So there's not so much he can do to defend this tower if they commit to it. Bottom tier 1 will go down. They'll move forward onto Crit. EMP comes out. Fada gets stunned from the Spike Carapace. Mini comes in with the Poison Touch. He is level 5 with 3 points in the poison. Harris looking for a lasso. He'll find it onto Crit. A lot of damage coming out. Mini trying to get in position for the grave. He won't be able to get it as the Cold Snap slows him down. Level 1, very short range. He'll use it on himself, and it actually won't proc. He'll be just fine for now, but now he's in big trouble. Burning that grave just a little bit too early.
Where's Starladder?
Yeah, that'll be a 2-0, and now this is the problem with Lycan. If you make that misstep, an easy second tower as the Howl comes out and the Enchantress joins the fray.
Yeah, Lycan should have been there for that fight. Or, sorry, Starladder should have been there for that fight. They needed him desperately, especially with that deep, deep tower dive. He's the one that should repel the aggression. Nature's Prophet can be there, too.
Dagger, too.
Yeah, I think he just picked it up. That might have been the reason why he was absent, but that's a big trade. They lost 2 heroes. They lost 2 towers, too. So now looking at the gold grab, it has just spiked up off of 1 fight.
Yeah, both teams have pushed scary pushing lineups, but Sigma can flash push these towers a little bit more effectively. MYM are more based around the Exorcism cooldown and the Nature's Prophet making the trees, whereas Sigma, any kind of opening, they can just do serious crippling damage, compliments of the Howl on Lycan, and it's even only level 2, so it's just going to get worse. Medallion up, I think W33 may be considering a Roche before too long here.
Yeah, they might like go feign a T1 push on top, or at least just make MYM respond to them on top and then go for a Lycanthrope. Roshan, unfortunately, they do not have a smoke for him. Actually, the bottom lane is not warded anyway, so not too big of a deal. I also think they need to knock down the bottom T1 before they attempt it, unless they want to attempt it with a smoke.
Dazzle is smoked up top, and it will be revealed momentarily here. Crit's just about to reveal his in the creep wave as well. Good positioning from Sachka. He'll be in the trees. He's actually pretty close to his 4-staff as well. Paris has found quite a bit of farm this game.
Indeed he has. Just all off of that good engagement in mid.
And here's the Exorcism. It is a 5-man push from MYM to knock down this top tier 1 tower. Could be an opening for Lycan to move into Road. We'll see if Sigma want to try and contest. They don't have a glyph available. In comes the Tornado EMP. That will help things scatter. Actually does take some mana off of Mini as well as Starladder. And they'll repel this push. Tower now in deny range as that siege creep gets one last auto attack. And they won't go for the deny quite yet. They might be able to secure it as the Treants come in. It will be a battle for the last hit. Flame break. And they won't get it. Nature's Prophet finishes it off. Blink forward from Unicorn. They will catch Miggle. He has Fiend's Grip available, but it's not enough. The silence to make sure he can't do anything cheeky with that Brain Sap. And they'll get a tower as well as a kill. Tornado. EMP does connect on 3. Say goodbye to your mana. Flame break as well. A lot of low health heroes for MYM. If they can pursue forward, they might be able to do some cleanup kills. And no, maybe not. Exist taking some damage from the Cold Snap. Blink forward from the Bat Rider. Looking for the lasso, but a great silence coming out from Exist. Will keep him alive, and also not enough mana for that lasso anyhow. But while all this is going on, a lot of space created. Lycan pushed both towers down bottom. He did just clear out that tier 2.
Now he can just transition into Roche. Sigma has just bought him so much time, and Quas Wex Invoker is so exceptionally good at doing that.
Yeah. Now the net worth on Lycan just spiking up. He is so scary. Like you said, moves straight into the Roche pit. MYM, they might be aware, they might not. They don't have any wards down in that area. They may be suspicious,
I don't think they can do anything
They
about
can't
it.
contest. I mean, maybe Nyx could roam over. He's not even level 6, so... Meanwhile, Sigma will just push the top tier 1 tower with their 4 remaining, and they can get a kill on a Nature's Prophet as well. Fiend's Grip used, enough for the kill. Now Sigma just starting to run over MYM. This is a 4+1 type strategy.
MYM's lineup just does not have that much room for air, and generally when you have a Starladder, you don't have that much room for air. And it all started with this dive. Like, he was just so close to his Blink Dagger, and not having everyone there and giving that much gold to Sigma, that was probably like 800 gold to everyone on their team, including the assist gold. And that's just something that you don't want to give them this early into the game. Crit finds out Saksha.
Yeah, he could be in some trouble, but he will force staff to the low ground after taking a silence. Starladder blinks in off the mark with the Slitherine Crush, and Sachka will blink back to the river in the mid lane. Right now, he's keeping all 5 members of MYM, actually 4 members of MYM busy. And they might be able to secure a kill. Yes, they will as they hop forward, but still pulling their forces away from the Lycan. And he's still farming away. Now has that Necro book up. Ace on the high ground. Needs to maybe be careful here. Fada will just walk back to the tower. Very speedy with that Wex up.
Yep. And W33 happily content to just push the side lanes. Looking at his build, looks like the very standard Vlad's into Medallion for the Roshan, into a Necronomicon for mass pushing ability.
Yep. And of course he has the Aegis.
Of immortality.
Immortality!
So although this game, the kill score looks close, this game is quickly getting out of hand.
Oh, mad. They will find him up top. Nature's attendants come out, but...
Time to get healed.
Yeah, that won't be enough. Maybe, it's a pretty good Enchantress, boys.
Yeah.
Maybe you should join Gods in his cosplay efforts.
I'm just trying to make him look bad. He needs to step up his game.
Oh, poor God.
No, poor us. We are deprived.
We are deprived of cosplay action.
Yes.
That's true. You know what? I'll second the notion on that. Whoa, Paris. He blinks forward. He grabs Starladder inside the lasso. Follow-up is inbound, though. That Shadow Wave doing a fair bit of damage. That EMP draining most of the mana. Ace, the only one with some left. He will get stuck inside the Sprout, but Fada will try and pour it out. And oh, my. Just barely makes it. That Slithering Crush. 0.1, 0.2 of a second too late. That was a really close call. W33, he's just going to pressure this tower, and he'll do a fair bit of damage to the tier 3.
Yep. Now the Lycan threat is real.
Yeah, and that's only with a level 1 Necro book. He's going to have Necro 3 before too long.
And not even level 4 Howl.
Yeah. Starladder is 4-0-3, though. He's picked up some okay momentum, number 2 on the net worth chart, which is rather impressive considering MYM have been kind of on the back foot a little bit and they're not winning the tower exchange battle. Right now the total tower count is 5-2 in favor of Sigma, and they got Roche. So they have a clear advantage in terms of map objectives. And one of the other big disparities is this tier 1 tower in the mid is still standing for Sigma, and the first tier 2 to fall for the Dire was this tier 2 in the mid lane. So just the difference in access points is really huge. Sigma have this tower to port to when they need to try and support their allies, get into fights, contest Roche. And MYM, they don't have that. They've got no map control now.
Yep. They do not. And they don't really have that great of a way to deal with Sigma's split push. Like, yeah, they can probably kill Lycan, but at the same time, Lycan's usually not in a threatening position. Well, not one where he can be picked off very easily, and if they want to fight the other people, they have to deal with Quaswex Invoker. Fada's Invoker, yeah, it's just so good at controlling in team fights.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Pretty solid. Force staff up. He's got another 2,200 just waiting to be invested in something. Probably will be moving towards a sheep, I would guess. But we'll see. I guess it could also be a Yule's if he was so interested. Race car. Vroom,
Orchid
vroom.
wouldn't be bad.
Yeah, Orchid could be a good choice as well.
Especially since Star went for Vanguard. Oh.
Vanguard after Blink?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. He had Blink before it, so... Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, it's one thing if you can get a really early Vanguard and Blink like that. You know, like 15-minute Vanguard Blink, that's one thing. But to get the Blink first and then like, well, I need to survive. Let me just go ahead and get a Vanguard. Like, I would just start working towards the BKB.
Yep, or a Halberd.
Or a Halberd, yeah. BKB, not the best here. Lasso goes through it, as we know, but still would help against some of that magic damage coming out. Certainly would help against this Invoker as well. Tier 2 tower up top taking heavy damage. More tempo control coming out from Fada.
Where you go?
As that EMP drains some mana. Nice deny from Nyx onto the tower. But now Fiend's Grip used on Unicorn. He'll be the first to fall. That's the end of the dominating streak. Actually, Slardar's first death this game. Sachka will get stunned by that Spike Carapace. But yeah, this is looking like a disaster for MYM.
I must say, Nature's Prophet hasn't really done anything this game. Like, he...
0-4 and 3, he just has Midas Phase.
Yeah, it just... I didn't like the pick. You know, I still would have liked the Darkseer over it to give them more control in team fights, but as it stands, he hasn't really been pushing just because he can't push against a Batrider. Like, if you get lasted, you're dead.
Yeah. It's true. And for him, like, he went the Hand of Midas build, which is pretty standard, but we're 18 minutes, and Sigma is knocking on the tier 3s. This game has just gone way too fast for Hand of Midas to be a useful pickup here. So all that gold that he's been able to pick up has been kind of a wasted investment so far, as he's yet to see positive return on that Hand of Midas.
Yep.
Yule's now up on the Death Prophet. She's only level 10, so waiting for that extra dose of spirits to come out. That's really a big milestone for that hero.
What do you think about Death
4 to
Prophet?
12.
Do you think she's worth picking? Like, we've seen...
In general?
We've seen 2 Death Prophets picked in the past 2 days, and they both just failed miserably.
I think you can get away with it if the other team doesn't have a very gank-oriented lineup. I would not want to pick a Death Prophet into an Enchantress. Like, heroes that you know are going to be very aggressive in the early stage. Even, like, Bane as well. He's pretty aggressive about moving around and trying to set up kills. Those are the kind of heroes where I don't think Death Prophet thrives. I think she really thrives in a lane where she feels a little bit more safe about getting ganked. And she can work, but not in the lineups that we've seen recently. Enchantress taking a lot of damage, but will survive. Does have a haste rune on. Will chase down this Slardar, chucking the Impetus and doing some damage. Nyx Assassin did get finished off by the Batrider, but no, Enchantress won't pursue. Chose the wrong fight there, Merlini.
Yeah, and now Sigma just trying to starve MYM out, and I guess Nyx hasn't really had that much of an impact. Who has had an impact on MYM besides Slardar?
I mean, Death Prophet has done okay. She's been the big reason they've been able to knock down those 2 towers. But, yeah, I mean, just as a team, they've been a little bit lackluster. Sigma have been running over them this entire game. But, yeah, all in all, I think Death Prophet's okay. I think if you need, like, a pushing lineup, but Like I don't know her and Nature's Prophet together. It just seems sort of like overkill. Those 2 towers they knocked down, like would they not have been able to do it if they didn't have the Nature's Prophet treants? I think Exorcism was more than enough.
Yeah, it usually is.
So I don't know. I feel like the last few games we've seen her, it just hasn't been the ideal draft. But what do you think about DP Merlini?
I think she's good. I think she hasn't really been given a situation to thrive in the games that I've seen her in, and the teams have just completely capitalized on the fact that she's a weak mid. I think if you are going to pick her into a gank heavy lineup on the opposing team, you need to do a better job of protecting her. And she only died once, but at the same time, she hasn't really been able to farm that much. She hasn't really been able to push that much. You also don't really want to draft it against heroes that are really good versus split push pressure, because she's often like that hero in like DK and mid, where if you leave the lane alone for 1 rotation, you'll probably lose your tower.
Yeah, she does have some weaknesses, though. She does a lot of damage with the ultimate up, but the problem is forcing the other team to take a fight while you have Exorcism on, and most teams will avoid that at all costs. They'll sacrifice towers. They'll find other ways to pressure the map, so that you have to make that choice. Do I push this tower? Do I come back to defend my tier 3s? What do I do here instead of just taking a straight 5-on-5 head-on clash against DP? So she can be very powerful, but she reminds me almost like Enigma a little bit. The counter to her is good positioning, good game sense, choosing when to fight appropriately. So it's not that the hero is bad as much as top-level teams in the upper echelon are very effective at dealing with her or exploiting her weaknesses.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now it looks like Sigma making a move for the T3. Roshan is going to respawn in just 30 seconds time. Necro 3 already up on Lycanthrope, and another Necro 3. So Sigma looking to end this game very early, it looks.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a really fast Roche respawn as well. This is like almost as quickly as Roche can respawn after that initial timer.
The double Necros.
They will press forward. Both Necros come out, as you mentioned, and the glyph has already been popped. Starladder hops in, but he gets lassoed straight away. There's the Yules coming out from Death Prophet. Mini, though, he's caught inside the Fiend's grip. A great target to use the grip on, as he did not get off a shallow grave. 2 down to start off this fight. Now Crit and UNC in some trouble. Crit will get destroyed. He'll buy back. UNC makes it back to the well. Death Prophet also buys back. Does have the Exorcism still available. We'll go ahead and burn it, but damage has been done. The racks have already gone down. Fada gets silenced. He may die to the spirits. No, there's a Yules coming out. That will buy him a little bit of time, but he'll fall to the stuns. Death Prophet gets killed for a second time. Lycan will be able to man up on Crit a little bit here. The Wolves will chase him down. The Wolves, are they going to have enough damage? No, he'll move around the towers. The tier 4s, just a little bit too much DPS.
Dazzle.
But 2 buybacks were burned there from MYM, and they still lost the racks.
Yep. And Sigma only lost 2 heroes. Roshan is up.
Maybe 3. Lycan gets initiated on by Starladder as he blinks forward.
Nice. Now they can do Roshan.
Yeah, nice recovery.
MYM showing a breath of life. 12,000 gold lead in favor of Sigma. But with 1 Rex down this early, yikes. Here they go.
Yikes. Yeah, they are dire.
They are. I guess MYM's lucky. I thought it was Sigma that were lucky because of the early Roche respawn, but
yeah. Well, they would have been lucky if Lycan didn't get picked off there. But a good read from Unicorn to blink forward and catch the Lycan, recognizing that his ult was down.
And Starladder gets pushed up to the high ground.
This might not be the free Roche that we were thinking. There will be a contest from the Radiant side. The Necro Book sent straight into the pit, and Crit is about to die to summons right here. No, he will make it back. Meanwhile, up top, UNC and Exist. Roche still has the amplified damage on. There you go. It will expire. So now it's up for grabs. Maybe Sigma will move in and make a push for it. Yeah, MYM will just back up and hand it over. Roche on a silver platter. Although Sigma aren't going to go for it straight away. Going to be a little bit more cautious here. They do have a gem up, so they're just looking to take some more map control. Before they move into the pit, there is also a mech in the inventory of the Enchantress. BOT's up on the Bat Rider. Miggle, he's got Blink as well as Arcane Boots, very close to a 4-staff. Very rich here on the side of Sigma. What's Lycan got? Nothing since the Necro level 3, but 2,300 gold in savings. We talked about the Necro 3 on the Invoker. But finally, Nature's Prophet will start to see some return on that Handamitis. He did pick up a Necro Book level 3 of his own following that successful team fight in the base.
Now Starladder's completely out of mana, getting hit by a Tornado EMP combo coming out from Fada, and without Starladder having mana, he has enough for like 1 Blink Stomp. That's it. Oh, he gets Arcane.
Yep, Exorcism comes out. Right now, MYM on the high ground, Mad around the side, trying to split them up a little bit. Lycan uses the shapeshift and now just going for Exist. He's in big trouble. Exist will die in the Roche pit. He gets lassoed as well. Mad still on the other side of the hill. Roshan falls to the Radiant. Lycan the one to pick up the Aegis. Nyx gets graved, but it's not enough. Now Mini's on the run. Looks like he may fall as well. Starladder blinks forward and sprints away. Maybe they can still secure a kill. Oh, man, not enough mana for that flame break. But now Starladder is slowed. Still a chance to pursue. Blink forward from the Bane. Has the Nightmare. Unicorn's in trouble. I'm not sure if they have the damage, though, between these two heroes.
I don't know. There's a lot of stacks on him.
It's the battle of the blinks, Merlini. All three of these heroes are blinking all over the place. UNC connects with one on the Slytherin Crush. They'll chase him into the base. And there you go. Bane finishes him off with one last Brain Sap.
Now Lycan just making quick work of this tower in middle. And the Necro 3s.
Sigma 18 to 10. They've got this game. 14,000 gold, 12,000 experience. MYM will respawn pretty quickly, but again, the damage has been done. No glyph available. They lose their melee racks. Obviously, the tier 3 in the mid has already gone down. The Necro units doing some more work. Look how much damage just the summons alone do to these heroes.
Yeah. I think they needed a fighter. Nature Prophet was just not the right pick here, at least not with the way the game has been going against Sigma. They needed, like, I don't even know. A Darkseer I would have liked. Even I think a Batrider to the own would be really, really good. But unfortunately, Sigma has picked that up very, very early. What are the other good ones? It's eluding my mind right now. Slark would have been okay too.
Yeah, they could have gone with a Slark. That would have given them a nice tempo controller for the mid game. Someone that could be aggressive if he got a couple kills, like a mid game shadow. If he had a Shadow Blade up right now, Slark would be very scary in the face of the Sigma squishies. What happened to Bristle? He was first banned, first pick material, and what was I don't even remember the last time you and I casted a Bristle back.
I think I mean he does fall pretty easily to the mass bind in his armor, but I think overall just not the flavor of the month anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh boy, W33. He'll take some pressure in the mid lane as they blink forward. Lycan will actually burn the Aegis here, or will he? Will go ahead and use Shapeshift?
He has BKB.
Yeah, there you go. Pops the BKB. Deafening Blast comes in as well. Now he wants to reinitiate. Exorcism comes out. Again, just the mass summons doing some quick work on this Death Prophet. She now has a point booster. And that Sprout will buy her some time. Look at all of these units just chasing them down. Oh, boy. Meanwhile, in the middle of the fight, Starladder hops forward, and he will get caught in another Fiend's Grip. Miggle has been on point this game with Bane. And there you go. MYM will tap out. GG well played after 27 minutes of gameplay. 21 to 10. Sigma are victorious.
That was pretty rough. I think Bucky Mad played a pretty nice Enchantress early on, ganking mid and bottom, killing the Nature's Prophet and the Death Prophet very, very early. Because Death Prophet was kind of irrelevant that game. I think they only got, what, 2 towers that whole entire time?
Yeah.
The mid, top, or the top T1 and the bottom T1. So, pretty rough game. Sigma, again, looking back in form.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. We talked about Sigma. They sort of have been on that roller coaster ride. They were peaking up, and then they kind of crashed a little bit, and now it seems they're on their way up. And they have this consistent stand-in, W33. Not a player that I know too much about, but it doesn't seem to matter.
It's more like Rolling Hills.
Rolling Hills, yeah.
Because it's very long and drawn out, not like fast.
You're killing it with the analogies today, man. That wasn't sarcasm. That was a good analogy. Better than mine. Better than a roller coaster.
Whatever.
Anyway, Sigma looking very good. Add another one to the positive tally for Lycan. He's quickly becoming the flavor of the month. It's crazy how quickly it changes. Ancient Apparition, he was in full force, and he still is, but Lycan is nipping at his heels in terms of popularity.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof, woof. Indeed. So that wraps up our coverage today, guys. We will be back tomorrow. Starladder continues on. I believe there are only 2 EU matches tomorrow, and actually I have that right in front of me. It's Cleve versus Fnatic and Power Rangers versus Ahead. And I don't know if there's North America tomorrow off the top of my head. I didn't look at the schedule during the break, and I should have. But we will be back. I'm Zyori. With me, pretty much as always, is Merlini. And we're done for today, man. Anything else? Any closing thoughts? Any Merlini words?
Sigma's on the rise.
Sigma's on the rise. Bet those rares. Rares were 1 today on Sigma.
Rares were 1.
Rares were 1. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at ZyoriTV, at Merlini Dota, and of course at Beyond the Summit. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow.